Worry often arises from an internal battle, a clash between our desires and the rational mind. On one side, we have our wants, expectations, and fears. On the other, we have the reality of what we can and cannot control. The ancient Stoics believed that this conflict is at the heart of much of our suffering. Epictetus taught, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. When we allow our desires to dictate our judgments, we create a gap between what we wish for and what reason tells us is realistic." For instance, you might worry about how others perceive you, driven by a desire for. 1. Understand the inner conflict between desires and reason. Worry often arises from an internal battle, a clash between our desires and the rational mind. On one side, we have our wants, expectations, and fears. On the other, we have the reality of what we can and cannot control. The ancient Stoics believed that this conflict is at the heart of much of our suffering. Epictetus taught, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." When we allow our desires to dictate our judgments, we create a gap between what we wish for and what reason tells us is realistic. For instance, you might worry about how others perceive you, driven by a desire for approval. Yet rational thought reminds us that we cannot control others' opinions. What they think is entirely up to them. This inner conflict also manifests when we chase outcomes that depend on external forces. A desire for wealth or status might lead to constant worry about economic downturns or competitors. The Stoics remind us that focusing on external rewards, which are beyond our control, leads to unnecessary anxiety. Instead, they encourage us to align our actions with reason, seeking fulfillment in virtues like wisdom, courage, and self-discipline. To resolve this inner conflict, begin by identifying your desires and evaluating them against what is truly within your power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Recognize when your desires are leading you into unnecessary worry and shift your focus to what you can directly influence, your thoughts, actions, and character. When you reconcile desires with reason, you free yourself from the emotional turbulence of worry. Instead of being consumed by what you cannot control, you find clarity and peace in living in alignment with your values. This inner harmony allows you to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence and resilience. 2. Release the illusion of control. At its core, worry thrives on the illusion of control, the mistaken belief that we can influence outcomes beyond our reach. The Stoics understood this deeply and emphasized that much of life is governed by forces we cannot dictate. Instead of clinging to control, they taught us to embrace the natural flow of life with acceptance and trust. Seneca wisely noted, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." Worry often projects us into a future filled with imagined problems and scenarios. We try to plan, predict, and prevent every possible outcome, as if worrying itself could shape events. Yet, how often have you spent days fretting over something that never came to pass? The effort to control the uncontrollable only drains our energy and clouds our judgment. Consider this. Much of what we worry about lies outside our sphere of influence. The weather, the opinions of others, or even global events. None of these are within our power. The Stoics referred to this as the dichotomy of control. According to Epictetus, some things are up to us and some things are not. By focusing only on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, we free ourselves from the burden of needless anxiety. Releasing the illusion of control requires a mindset shift. Start by practicing acceptance. When faced with uncertainty, remind yourself that life is inherently unpredictable. This isn't resignation, it's resilience. Instead of wasting energy resisting what is beyond your control, channel it toward adapting and responding with reason. The Stoics also emphasize trusting the natural order of the universe, often referring to it as nature or logos. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time." By trusting that events unfold as they must, we can relinquish worry and embrace life with equanimity. Let go of the illusion of control, and you'll discover a profound sense of freedom. The energy once consumed by worry can now be redirected toward living virtuously, embracing the present, and finding joy in what truly matters. 3. Recognize the power of the present moment. Worry has a unique way of dragging us out of the present into a whirlwind of what-ifs and should-haves. It fixates on imagined futures filled with potential problems or past regrets that cannot be undone. The Stoics remind us that the present moment is the only place where we have agency and influence. Epictetus observed, "Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present." This insight captures a simple yet profound truth. Worry accomplishes nothing. It wastes mental energy that could be used to engage fully in the present. Imagine being in a conversation while worrying about an upcoming event. Your mind is elsewhere, detached from the moment at hand. Not only do you miss the opportunity to connect with the person in front of you, but you also fail to impact the future you're so worried about. The Stoics teach us that the future will come whether we worry about it or not, and when it does, we'll handle it better if we've spent our energy wisely in the now. Living in the present requires conscious effort. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Confine yourself to the present." To practice this, start by observing your thoughts. When you notice worry pulling you into the future or the past, gently redirect your attention to what's happening right now. Focus on your breath, your actions, or the sensations around you. These simple grounding techniques can break the cycle of anxious rumination. When you embrace the present moment, you unlock its power. You're no longer weighed down by imagined troubles or unresolved regrets. Instead, you engage with life fully, finding clarity and strength to face challenges as they arise. Worry dissipates because it has no foothold in a mind anchored in the now. 4. Cultivate inner virtue to reduce dependence on external outcomes. Worry often stems from tying our happiness and sense of worth to external circumstances, things like success, relationships, or material possessions. When we base our peace of mind on factors outside our control, we leave ourselves vulnerable to anxiety. Stoicism offers an antidote. Focus on cultivating inner virtues, which no external force can take away. Seneca wrote, "A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not." This philosophy shifts our focus from what we cannot control, external outcomes, to what we can, our character and actions. Virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance provide a stable foundation for navigating life's uncertainties. Consider this example. You may worry about losing your job, fearing that it would strip you of your sense of purpose. But a Stoic perspective reframes this fear. Instead of tying your identity to the job itself, You focus on cultivating virtues like diligence, resilience, and adaptability. These inner qualities remain with you regardless of your external circumstances and equip you to handle any situation with grace. Practicing this mindset involves regularly reflecting on your values and aligning your actions with them. Ask yourself, am I prioritizing what is truly important, or am I placing too much weight on external marker of success? Journaling or meditating on your virtues can help you stay grounded in what truly matters. By shifting your focus inward, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil of chasing external validation or fearing its loss. Inner virtues provide a sense of fulfillment that is unshaken by life's unpredictability. You learn to approach challenges with courage, setbacks with resilience, and success with humility. When you cultivate inner virtues, worry loses its grip. Your happiness no longer depends on fleeting external outcomes, but on the strength and clarity of your own character. This is the essence of Stoic freedom, finding peace and purpose within yourself, regardless of what happens around you. 5. Practice discernment. Through reflection and self-examination. The Stoics emphasized the importance of reflection and self-examination as tools for navigating life with clarity and rationality. Worry often arises from irrational fears, imagined scenarios, or attachments to outcomes beyond our control. Through regular reflection, we can identify these unhelpful patterns and replace them with rational, virtuous thinking. Epictetus wisely stated, "Examine yourself and your habits of thought. What do you fear and why? What do you desire and why?" This practice is not about self-criticism, but self-awareness. It allows us to confront our fears honestly and to discern whether they are based on reality or distorted by our emotions. Imagine you're worried about a potential failure in an upcoming project. Instead of letting that anxiety consume you, a Stoic approach would involve asking reflective questions. Is this fear based on actual evidence, or am I projecting my insecurities? If the worst happens, what can I control in my response? These reflections bring clarity, grounding your thinking in reason rather than emotion. Self-examination can be practiced through journaling or quiet contemplation. At the end of each day, reflect on moments where worry took hold. What triggered it? Was it rooted in something you could control, or was it tied to external outcomes? By regularly engaging in this exercise, you'll begin to notice patterns and develop strategies to address them with rationality. This process doesn't just alleviate worry, it strengthens your ability to align your thoughts and actions with Stoic virtues. As you replace irrational fears with a focus on wisdom, courage, and self-discipline, you become more resilient and less susceptible to the mental noise that often fuels worry. Through reflection, you gain the power to act deliberately, free from the weight of unnecessary fears. Worry becomes a signal for introspection rather than a source of distress, leading you closer to the Stoic ideal of a tranquil and virtuous life. 6. Trust the natural order and accept what happens. At the heart of Stoicism lies the belief that the universe operates according to a rational and natural order. The Stoics taught that everything happens for a reason, even if we can't immediately perceive it. By trusting this greater order, we can let go of unnecessary worry and embrace a mindset of acceptance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time." The twining strands of fate wove both of them together. This perspective shifts our focus from resistance to acceptance. allowing us to view challenges and setbacks as integral parts of the universal plan. Consider how often worry stems from resisting what has already happened or fearing what might occur. For instance, you might worry about a missed opportunity or an uncertain future. The Stoic approach encourages you to trust that these events are part of a greater order, one that is beyond human comprehension. Instead of fighting against them, you learn to adapt and grow within their context. Trusting the natural order doesn't mean passivity. It means aligning your actions with what is within your control while letting go of attachment to outcomes. This mindset fosters resilience and peace of mind. When you trust that even the unexpected has purpose, worry loses its grip, replaced by a sense of calm acceptance. To cultivate this trust, practice reminding yourself daily of the Stoic principle. Amor fati, love of fate. Embrace life as it unfolds, recognizing that every experience, pleasant or painful, is an opportunity for growth and understanding. By accepting what happens and trusting the natural order, you free yourself from the futile attempt to control everything. This surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom. It allows you to move through life with grace and strength, focused on what truly matters, the cultivation of your character and the pursuit of virtue. In this way, worry becomes not an obstacle, but a guide, pointing you toward deeper trust in the flow of the universe. If you've made it this far into the video, comment, "I trust the process," so I know you're ready to embrace the wisdom of Stoicism and free yourself from the grip of worry. Remember, worry doesn't solve problems, it only steals your peace. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, accept what we cannot, and trust the natural flow of life. Each step you take toward these principles brings you closer to the calm and resilient mindset you deserve. Thank you for being here and investing in your personal growth. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more Stoic insights, and share it with someone who might need this message today. And as always, keep moving forward with strength and clarity. See you in the next video.